Yo, what's up guys, it's Suraj from Tech Devoted and I've been using the Bluboo S1 as my primary device for the last 7 to 10 days and today I'm here to tell you all about it. Now before we jump into the actual review, huge props to the company for the amazing unboxing experience. The box is black with gold accents and looks absolutely amazing, so much so that it's even secured a place in my boxes that I display in my room list, so that's saying a lot. Anyway, it's now time to talk about the phone itself. Now, the weirdest I've ever reviewed. We'll get to the weird part later, but first let's get the positives out of the way. So as you can probably already tell, this is a bezel-less phone. Well, technically it still has bezels to the top and the sides and a fairly big chin on the bottom, but with a 90% screen to body ratio, it's still minimal in comparison to most other devices. It has a 5.5-inch IPS Full HD display and it's actually really good in terms of one-hand usage. I generally hate phones with 5 or bigger inches displays because it really affects one-hand usability, but with the S1 that's clearly not the case. Here's a quick size comparison between the Bluboo S1 and the OnePlus 3, which is also a 5.5-inch display. So as you can see, it's actually a pretty noticeable difference and the S1 is considerably smaller in size. Speaking of the display itself, it's a pretty nice display with good colors and great viewing angles. Overall, I have no complaints on the display front. Now under the hood is a Helio P25 chipset with 4 or 6 GB RAM depending on the variant you get, along with 64 GB storage, but if that doesn't suffice, you can insert a microSD card in the hybrid SIM slot. The variant I have here is the 4 GB RAM variant, and speaking of performance, initially I was a tad bit turned off when I first read it has a MediaTek chipset because I've never really used a phone with a MediaTek chipset and haven't heard particularly great things about them, but after using it for more than a week, I can confirm that the P25 is actually a pretty good SoC. I haven't tried highly intensive tasks like gaming, but for consuming content, browsing social media and light multitasking, the P25 is more than adequate and I haven't experienced any overheating issues whatsoever either. Next I want to talk about the software, and this is kind of like a mixed bag. The phone is running Android Nougat and the stock launcher of course does not have an app drawer and is heavily skinned, just like any other Chinese phone, but on the bright side, some apps like settings, phone dialer and contacts have a stock Android-like UI spread across them, so you can actually get Nova Launcher and make the phone look like stock Android, so that's really awesome. The next and probably the last thing that's good about the phone is a 3500 mAh battery. It gets me through a day with respectable screen on times of anywhere between 4 and 6 hours on medium usage. Standby times though are downright trash. For example, if you sleep with 15 or 20% battery, it will be dead by the time you wake up. So charging it by the end of the day is sort of inevitable. That said, it only takes an hour and a half to fully charge up, so I think that's pretty neat. Now it's time to talk about some not so good things, and first on that list is the camera. The Bluboo S1 is advertised as a dual camera phone with a 16 plus 3 megapixel setup, and I'll be honest with you, it's really not that great. You have a 2x zoom option like the one found on the Mi A1 or the OnePlus 5, but honestly it's not that great. The quality loss is huge and it just doesn't cut it. Same as the story with the blur effect, it looks very artificial and I feel some apps can do a much better job. I think it's safe to say the second camera is fake. It's only there for symmetry, I don't really know. But the front camera isn't half bad in comparison. Just bear in mind it's placed on the bottom, so you'll have to rotate the phone each time you want to take a selfie. Let's now talk about the weird part. First and foremost, the phone has a Type-C port, which is very well appreciated, but third-party Type-C cables don't work with it, which is kind of ironical to the whole concept of Type-C, which is being able to have one universal cable for all your needs. Next, Bluetooth keeps turning on its own like randomly, and this happens almost half the time, which is really annoying, and obviously battery life also takes a serious hit because of this. And finally, another weird thing is that the search bar inside the settings app just doesn't work. Like even the most basic searches like battery or about don't show any results. It's almost as if the phone is high on blue booze. Get it? Now most of these are just minor issues that can be fixed by software updates, which so far I have received one. Fingers crossed for future ones. And about Oreo, I don't really know if it's going to be receiving it. So far there has been no word, but I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't receive it. So in a nutshell, the Bluboo S1 offers an amazing display, good battery life and performance, but it's not the best in terms of camera, build quality and software. I wouldn't say it's stable enough to be a daily driver, but for under 10,000 rupees, it's not too bad of an option to enter the bezel-less realm. If you're interested in picking up the phone, do check out the links in the description and use them. It helps the channel out. But that's basically it for this video, guys. If you liked what you saw, consider liking and subscribing. It's been Suraj. Thanks so much for watching. Take it easy and stay devoted.